The shift from analog phreaking to digital hacking was seismic. The click of relays gave way to the silent logic of code. War dialing and password cracking became the new frontiers. The playground was now cyberspace. Rival groups, digital graffiti, and hacktivism flourished. Laws like the Computer Fraud and Abuse Act criminalized unauthorized access, turning curiosity into a felony. The message: the days of consequence-free exploration were over. What is lost when curiosity is criminalized? The journey from freaks to hackers is more than tech history. It's about human nature. The urge to explore, to understand, is vital. Early hackers showed that complex systems aren't magic. They're built by people and can be understood. By punishing curiosity, we risk becoming passive users, afraid to ask how things work. We gain security perhaps, but lose the creative spirit of the explorer. The world needs explorers, now more than ever. Hacking's history is a dance between rebellion, crime, and innovation. Even Apple's founders, Wozniak and Jobs, started by building blue boxes not just for free calls, but to challenge the system. Captain Crunch became a hero and a criminal, highlighting the thin line between exploration and illegality. For most freaks, the goal was knowledge, not theft. But the law saw no distinction. Underground zines like TAP and 2600 provided not just technical info, but a hacker ethic. Information should be free, exploration is a right. This ethic turned hobbyists into a movement. As the scene moved online, the tension grew. Hackers mapped the early internet, exposed flaws, and shaped its culture. Figures like Kevin Mitnick became infamous, but inside the community, they were explorers pushing boundaries. The prophets of a new age, they showed both the power and peril of a connected world. The line between hero and outlaw was always blurred. As phreaking evolved into hacking, the scene moved from basements to shared spaces, none more legendary than the L0P. In Boston's South End, the L0P was part clubhouse, part laboratory, and a beacon for hackers. Founded by friends like Count Zero and White Knight, it became a hub of creativity and relentless experimentation. L0PHT Heavy Industries pioneered cybersecurity, exposing flaws and pushing for responsible disclosure. They built their own networks, tinkered with everything, and fostered constant learning. In 1998, 7 L0PHT members testified before the U.S. Senate, warning they could take down the internet in 30 minutes. It was a wake-up call for the powerful. The L0PHT brought hacking out of the shadows and into the halls of power. It was a university for the self-taught, where passion and skill were the only requirements. The L0PHT changed the relationship between hackers and the world forever. The blue box was just the beginning. Phreakers built a rainbow of devices, each with a purpose. The red box mimicked coins and payphones. The black box let you receive calls without charges. The green box seized payphone lines. Each device required a new understanding of the system's vulnerabilities. Building them was a shadow education in telecommunications. But digital switching in the late 80s changed everything. The old tones stopped working. The blue box became obsolete overnight. The analog playground vanished, replaced by digital networks. Freaks had to adapt. Hardware skills gave way to coding. The new frontier was computer networks, not phone lines. The colorful boxes faded, replaced by the glow of a command line interface. The spirit of exploration survived, even as the tools changed. In the underground, your handle was your identity, your mask, your shield, your reputation. Names like Night Lightning or Fiber Optic were more than aliases. They were declarations. Anonymity was essential, but it made trust rare. Groups formed around shared skills and interests, with elite circles like the Legion of Doom. To join, you had to prove yourself, skills, information, or a trusted vouch. The desire to belong drove many to take risks. Yet, real connections happened even behind the masks. Sometimes, after years of online interaction, you'd meet in person. A legendary hacker might be a quiet local teen. These moments broke through the digital artifice, revealing the real people behind the handles. The underground was a masquerade, but beneath every mask was a human story. The community was real even if the names were not. In the end, it was the people, not the personas, that made the underground matter. The mask was both a barrier and a bridge. For years, phreaking thrived in the shadows until Esquire magazine exposed it in 1971. Ron Rosenbaum's article, Secrets of the Little Blue Box, made our secret world front page news. Suddenly, freaks were counterculture icons and targets. The article was a how-to guide for the curious, but also a beacon for law enforcement. The crackdown was swift. Lines were monitored, calls traced arrests, made paranoia replaced camaraderie. The open exchange of information slowed to a trickle. The risk was no longer just part of the thrill, it was real. The Esquire article drew a line between curiosity and crime. For the old guard, it was the end of innocence. The playground was discovered by adults and the fences went up. The community scattered, forced deeper underground, the secret was out, and everything changed. The phone system was more than a technical puzzle. It was a social space, a secret city. We found each other in its forgotten corners, miswired lines, test numbers, accidental party lines. Dialing the right sequence could drop you into a conference call with freaks from across the country. On these lines, we were a family of outsiders kids who preferred schematics to sports. Status came from knowledge, not age or background. Handles replaced real names. Trust was fragile, but real friendships formed in the anonymous ether forged by shared risk and curiosity. We traded secrets, solved problems, and built a community. The technical hacks were just the means. The real prize was finding your tribe. For many, the phone system was a lifeline, proof we weren't alone. Out there, in the darkness of the network, others like us were listening, talking, and dreaming. The wires hummed with possibility and with connection. My journey began in the mid-1980s, scavenging for parts in the dumpsters behind phone company offices in Worcester, Massachusetts. I wasn't after treasure, I was after the components to build a blue box. Dumpster diving was risky, but the reward was worth it. A discarded circuit board could be a map to adventure. My basement became a workshop filled with solder fumes and schematics from underground newsletters. Building the blue box was a rite of passage. Every connection had to be perfect. When I finally heard my homemade box emit that crisp 2600 hertz tone, it was electric. That sound was a door opening to a hidden world. My first successful call, seizing a line, dialing a distant city, was pure triumph. In that moment, I wasn't just a kid in a basement, I was an explorer, a ghost in the machine. The world was suddenly just a few tones away. Before the internet, there was another network, vast, powerful, and owned by the phone company. It was a kingdom, and the key wasn't a password, but a device, the blue box. This small gadget, built by phone freaks, generated the legendary 2600 hertz tone, seizing control of long-distance lines. Joy Bubbles, born Joseph Ingresia, could whistle the tone perfectly. His own voice was the key. He explored the system out of pure curiosity, not malice, finding connection in the hum of circuits. Then came John Draper, Captain Crunch, who discovered a toy whistle in Captain Crunch cereal could mimic the tone. Suddenly, anyone could join the game. Draper built blue boxes, dove deeper, and became a counterculture hero. For us, these pioneers were legends, our Neil Armstrongs. The blue box wasn't just for free calls. It was a symbol that cleverness could outsmart a billion-dollar corporation. It proved the systems that governed our lives could be understood and manipulated. The blue box was more than hardware. It was a declaration of independence. It was a passport to a secret global playground. The phone network was a world waiting to be explored, and the blue box was the ticket in. It was proof that the world's most complex systems could be bent to human will. For a generation, it was the ultimate act of rebellion and discovery. The blue box era was a time when curiosity cracked open the gates of a hidden kingdom. And for those who dared, the adventure was just beginning.